Can you use rank and rent, the rank and rent model, to target B2B industries? And for those that have no idea what I'm talking about, guys, traditionally with concrete, with tree surface, etc., we are targeting B2C, right? We're targeting business to consumer, business to customer, whatever it is. I actually don't even know what the C stands for, but the homeowner is the customer, the consumer, right? And this question was asked on my YouTube channel recently. I thought it was a phenomenal question, something that I wanted to target or that I wanted to address. And I'm happy to share my thoughts on this specific topic because it is something that I've asked myself. It's something that I've explored, and we're going to talk about all things related to this today. So this question, what's being asked, guys, is can we use this same model of building a generic website in XYZ city, but instead of targeting a concrete, which is a business to consumer, we target a industry that sells a product that is for other businesses, right? A B2B industry. I'm going to give you an example for this video. That would be something like a software company. And I've had these same type of requests. I know you guys will probably relate to this if you've been in the game at all. Once people start to know that you can generate leads, once people know you're in the lead gen space, they start to ask you, hey, can you generate leads for this? And you start to hear about all these interesting businesses. And you hear about all these different niche services and companies you've never heard of. And so I actually have a neighbor that lives across the street and like 3 or 4 houses down from me that has a software company. And upon meeting him, within a couple of weeks after he found out what I did, I got a text. Hey man, I'm really trying to explode my business. Things are going well, but like all the leads I'm doing, I'm just going after people. I'm just sniping people and I'm LinkedIn and I'm this and that. And he said, can you get me leads? And I'm like, well, let me take a look. Let me look into this. So let's talk about software and let's talk about what that would look like. So if we were going to target the software industry, any kind of software, whether it's software for real estate investors, software for mortgage brokers, software for whatever company it is, doesn't matter, okay? If we were going to follow this business model, we would have to build a website. We'd have to find out first and foremost what keywords people were searching. Okay. And this is where our problems begin with this. Now, as always, and I know you guys are going to get sick of me saying this, but I do believe, just to kind of cut to the chase, that you could generate leads. You will, if you practice and you do this model in any space, including software, including B2B, you will get leads. To some levels, you will get leads. There is somebody out there that is searching for what you're selling. There's somebody out there that's searching for software for house flippers. There's somebody searching for that. And your niche little software product that you have, there are going to be some people that are searching for it. So there are going to be some leads. But I don't believe that it's worth the squeeze. And I'm going to tell you why. But first comes with, if we were going to do this, right? We'd first go, all right, what are the things that people are searching for this specific software product? And that's where most people's problems begin. They go, well, I'm not really sure because this is, everyone that has software, their software is revolutionary. Their software is filling that hole in the market that's not there. That's why it's supposed to be the next, 9-figure exit, whatever. And so it's like, well, what would people search? And so we start brainstorming, but we don't really know what people would search. So we're not sure what to target. On the other hand, and if we look at something like a concrete, I know exactly what to target. It's concrete contractors, concrete sidewalks, concrete driveways, concrete whatever it is. I already know the most highly searched terms because it's such a boring and common niche. So we start there and we go, okay, what am I going to target? And there's a very high likelihood that you're going to target the wrong keywords. So now you're spending all this time, whether you're running ads in the beginning to try and pre-sell, which I think could turn into a disaster of trying to pre-sell with this B2B model. But let's say you try to do that and you got the completely wrong keywords, you're going to eat up a budget like that. You don't even know if you're bringing the right people to your website. You don't even know if that's what people are searching. Okay. So that's where your first issues arise. The other thing that makes this very, very difficult is B2B is very brand driven. Very, very, very brand driven. And these big software companies, and we're using software as an example, but they spend millions of dollars once they get to a certain level. When they start raising money and whatever, they spend millions of dollars branding themselves so that people recognize their name when they reach out or when they have a problem in their business. And so imagine you're the guy or you're the gal or you're the person that's over there trying to build a rinky dink freaking ugly whatever.com plus the city And you're going to go and not only rank, but you think you're going to get people to call you. Do I think you could rank for these specific keywords, these long tail keywords related to this niche software? That's not the part that's going to be much of a challenge. The part that's going to be a challenge is once they land on your website, is how are you going to convert people, right? How are you going to convert somebody to want to sign up for a demo for that specific software? You're going to have to use their branding. And now we have to start using their branding. Now this becomes, instead of being a rank and rent model, this becomes more of like, okay, now I'm kind of doing SEO. And you could argue, well, you own the website. But yeah, if you own the website, that's their branding, that doesn't really do you much good. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? Okay. Another reason why I think this could be challenging is with a lot of these B2B products, a lot of these B2B services, a lot of these B2B softwares, as we're discussing here, is there's a very long sales cycle, right? So I have friends, I don't know, 5 to 10 friends, maybe more, that have sold software. They're at the ADM level, which is like the setter, or the AE level, which is called an account executive. It's the closer. And depending on the size of business, these are some long sales processes. It's some of these that target these big schools and companies and whatever, sometimes up to a year sales process, guys, a year sales process for one client. So it becomes very tricky for the conversion, but it becomes very tricky for, just keeping the client happy, because you might be shooting them 30 leads a month if everything goes perfect, but how you're going to have to convince them to stay with you 6, 9, 12 months at the minimum to see those first couple of deals trickle in. And yes, you might be able to convince somebody to do that, but I think it's just going to be such a massaged deal. And as always, I look at this and go, okay, can it work? Yes. But why? Why would I give myself that much more work? Why would I go into an industry and in a space that's so much more difficult when I can go bang out 3, 4 tree service sites, make the same amount of money, no headache? It's just a system. I know what keywords, I know what content to do, I know what the website needs to look like, I know about the service, I can talk the lingo, I don't have to go learn a new thing. I just don't see it being worth the squeeze. Now, if you were somebody that this is the beginning of your journey, and you said, hey, I'm in software, I love software, my dad's got a software company, I've got a software company, my family's software, and I want to learn this space, then you could argue, and I would maybe say that you might have a case of, okay, go learn this for rank and rent. But I would also tell you, I think there's other platforms that are going to be a little bit better for lead generation. Things like Facebook ads, things like LinkedIn ads, things like content marketing. I just don't see this model being that effective in these B2B niches. So again, this is not something I looked into it for my friend, my neighbor, and I just told him all the things that I just told you. I said, dude, this is not really going to be profitable for me. In order for me to take on this project, and this is before I made a rule that I will never trade my time for dollars. But I said, in order for this to be profitable, I'm going to have to charge you so much money, you're not going to want to do it. I'm just going to tell you up front, it's going to be a big project. I think your time is better spent doing X, Y, and Z. And that's the advice I gave him. We ended the conversation. I don't know if he ever did it, but I turned the deal away because, and you could probably see as I've started to discuss some of these more, I guess, common niches, or more of these professional niches, that as I progressed in my career, I went from being the guy that would try everything to being the person that said, no, I've done enough of these niches that don't work. And this niche here has all of the exact same things that niche does. And that one didn't work. So why don't I just go ahead and save myself some time? So guys, I personally am not generating leads for B2B. I think the B2C is a better model. Now, I think there's going to be some specific niches. Software is just the example that came to my mind. But if there are some other examples where it's a less branded niche, it's a shorter sales cycle, those type of things, I think it definitely could work. I know it would work. But I'm always looking for, what can I get the most amount of squeeze out of for the least amount of effort? And then how can I go repeat that again and again and again? This is how I've made my money. And this is just my style. You don't have to follow my advice. In fact, I recommend you don't believe my advice. You test everything, you think through everything, and you say, does that make sense? If you don't think it does, go test it. That's my 2 cents.